Good afternoon, everybody. This is Zero Gravity Training. It's always a pleasure to see you. I'm always thankful for your time spent on viewing my videos, especially when they're informative. And today it's finally a time to speak about nutrition. Have to admit that my previous nutrition videos were very generic, and by that I mean it was just limited to the days, or I think once I did a week of eating. But to tell you the truth, to see someone's day or week or even a month of eating won't really get you anywhere. For the reason because to copy and to understand are two different things. It took me a while to come up with this video, to write a script, because I was wondering how to approach it in the best way to give you as much information as I could give you in order to learn how to operate with nutrition to improve your physical and mental health. And today's video is going to be called Nutrition Toolbox. In this particular video, I will give you all my tips, all my tricks and hacks, if I can call it this way, to help you to operate and stay in shape on a daily basis, more so learning along the way, making adjustments and constantly improve till the rest of your life. I have a little script with me here that I wrote. It will be a map for me to point on the most important, in my opinion, things that you should pay attention to. And so it's time to start. Buckle up. Thank you again for your time. I hope this time spent on video will be most beneficial in your today's schedule. God bless and let's go. First things first. Important things that you need to learn before you want to start new lifestyle, new diet, new discipline, whatever affects your daily life habits, you need to be concerned about. Number one is health. So before you or me or anyone else wants to make changes in nutrition or lifestyle, your priority always should be seeing a doctor. And I'm not saying about big doctor checkup. I'm talking about basic things. You want to make sure that you don't have diabetes. You want to make sure that your cholesterol is on a certain level. You want to make sure that you don't have any chronic disease. You want to make sure that you don't have any medical issues that potentially can sabotage your upcoming progress. Number two is I have to mention that this particular style of approach on nutrition has no connection with bodybuilding or modern fitness industry. Bodybuilding and everything that's associated with it is a destructive activity. It contains excessive eating, stuff like bulking, stuff like shredding. The priority in bodybuilding and fitness goes on a visual look. And when the visual look is priority, the individual is ready to sacrifice anything else in order to achieve that. And that's why the bodybuilding's outcome is sickness, deaths, and multiple health issues due to unnatural approach on what people call sports. In this particular video, you won't see any single connection with modern fitness industry or bodybuilding. Next thing is important for you to understand that every one of us is different. Not only every single person has a different DNA, but also organs, body, the genetics, habits, mental, everyone is different. So you have to take in consideration that Nutrition Toolbox is oriented to explain you overall view on the nutrition, and it does not mean that it will be applicable to you, but for sure it will help you to figure out how to look at the things and make some adjustments for your own situation. And the last thing I want to mention here is that you have to understand that there are people who have unique particular diets, such as carnivore, for example. The people who look great and seems that they've been living same lifestyle progressively and improving health and physical, but this is very small percentage of those people, and those people were climbing to where they are right now through the same blood, sweat, and adjustments, starting with a basic diet and then eventually discovered what works best for them. Unfortunately, that amount of people is very small, and they cannot be considered as an overall example for most individuals. Simply to be said, if you see somebody fit with a particular diet, that is not the best example for you to pay attention to. Part one, overall look on nutrition. Number one, I want to explain to you what is nutrition for me. What does it mean, nutrition at this stage of my life and training, where I am right now? So first of all, nutrition is a tool. It's an opportunity to have certain level of control on your health, on your performance, on even your thoughts and major processes of your life. Because if you consume clear nutrition, you have clear thoughts, your body functioning better, your health is improving or at least not getting worse. Nutrition can be so different. It's like a constructor. Sometimes playing with the macros in a physical activity can give you a certain level of progress. Nutrition is a main part of life and of course sport. Underestimating the value of nutrition makes you a fool, no matter where you are, daily life or training. Part two, I call it pyramid of priorities. So if we look at nutrition, we look at the food, whatever you want to call it, what is it that we should look for? What is the priority? In my case, number one is the quality of food. Number two, I'll put calories. And number three goes to macros. Let me explain why. Number one, quality of food. Why do I put quality of food on the first place? Because again, remember, I told you not everyone is looking to achieve certain physical results, but most people want to have longevity, health, and quality of life. So if we put quality of food on the first place, that instantly eliminates all the junk food, that instantly eliminates all the artificial crap, that instantly eliminates all the quick, cheap sources of food such as candies and snacks and all that. Give you an example. For example, one small candy can be very low in calories, 30 calories, 50, but the quality of it will be made out of garbage. Comparing to, let's say, when you have a date, the fruit date, it's high in calories, but it's also good quality. For a person who just wants to live healthy lifestyle, it's best to pay attention to the quality of food because you will never be wrong. Number two, calories. Calories go second. Calories in, calories out. That's how our body operates. If we consume excessive amount of calories, we gain extra weight. If we decrease the amount of calories, then we lose weight. So no matter how many macros are contained in the calorie amount, if the calorie amount is excessive, you're still gonna be gaining weight. Although it's important to pay attention to the quality of calories because you can't really overeat good quality organic foods. That's why the quality goes first. Second, go calories. In a calories, individual can adjust if he's eating more calories than he's supposed to, or is he eating less calories than he's supposed to, no matter he's living a daily life or he is training. Calories go second. The third is macros. Why macros on the third place? Because the comparison goes between regular people and athletes. The macros are more applicable to athletes because with the macros, you can really adjust of how much muscle, lean mass you're gaining or maintaining, what you use on a fuel, carbohydrates or fats, and all that stuff. If we compare the regular person, he doesn't have to worry much about macros comparing to athlete. And because my example, the nutrition toolbox, is trying to help both individuals, then that's how I sort the priorities. Number one, quality of food, because you will never overeat good organic food. Number two is calories, because that will give you certain idea of how to control your weight. And number three is the macros, which will go for the advanced people who actually want to get deeper in the process of getting leaner or increasing the performance or enhancing the workout through the carbs and all that stuff. Part 3, most important aspects of successful nutrition. Number 1, set goals. See, if you don't have goals, you don't have anything. You don't know where you're going, because if you don't have goals, any irregular situation can disbalance you. For example, somebody called you out to drink in a bar at 6 p.m. and then you end up sleeping till noon next day because that bar turned into a party. Or multiple other situations, even vacation. The things that are irregular in our schedule usually disbalance us. And believe it or not, that's how our life is. The things always come at the wrong moment. Everything is unpredicted. The people who try to copy somebody's plan or buy plan have to live the same day every day in order to follow it. But because life is a little different than all those plans, we have to prepare for any unpredictable situations. And having a plan is a major part of the process. Plan is the priority. Example of a plan can be simple. I mean, a lot of people struggling with weight loss. Plan could be towards weight loss. Plan could be towards feeling better. Plan could be towards improving the physical aspect of the body. Different type of plans. Don't sweat about setting long-term, crazy, unbelievable plan. Go with the small things and improve along the way. Number 2 is the balance. Balance is the most important thing in life, because if you don't have a balance, life will balance it out for you. In our case, is the body. So, for example, if you starve yourself, your body will require calories back. If you overeat, then you will feel nasty. You won't be feeling hungry. Body is anatomical machine that is much more smarter than you or me and a whole bunch of space programs. It's advanced mechanism that is more mature than our mind. The example of that would be simple. You know, when you want to go pee so bad, how long you can hold it? Some crazy ones can hold it for quite a while, but then eventually your body will take itself. You will go and you will pee. That's just what body needs to do. That's where your soul is inside, and you have to follow the rules of that organic suit. Same with nutrition. If you think that you will starve yourself and now you're not feeling hungry and then you want to just not eat, don't worry. Body will take care of you, just not in the way that you want it to. Number 3 is the consistency, my friends. So you have to set up 60+% of daily consistency. Daily consistency means the same thing that you will be doing every single day, nutrition-wise. Every single day, you have to keep at least 60% of consistency. Why do I put 60% of consistency? Because 50-50, half and half, won't be that good towards the progressive side. But if we grab another 10% of the 100 and make it 60 versus 40, then that will give you a little bit more effort towards your new nutritional habits. And the consistency here, I mean setting up one or two meals that you will have to consume every single day and make it the most important meals of the day. Those meals will be fuel for your daily activity. Those meals will be the must that you can consume despite what you will consume besides those meals. And that's we're going to talk about later. Number four, it's enjoyment and comfort. Again, coming back to what I was saying earlier, if you don't enjoy what you do, you won't last. Things that done without enjoyment, with a big pressure, are not usually bringing the good outcome. That's why it's important to do your homework. It's important to enjoy what you're doing. And if you're not enjoying it, you're going to find a way to enjoy it. Remember, you have to build a lifestyle already right now that you can maintain for the rest of your life. Otherwise, it does not make any sense. You won't learn anything in a shortcuts. You won't gain anything in a short-term goals, because you always will get back to your previous habits and lifestyle. Number five is never force anything. Never force things. The worst example is when people try to bulk up, eating on top of food on top, on top, on top. It's not going to work like that. Again, coming back to what I was saying, body is smarter than you. You want to bulk it up, you want to force eating, sure, the body is going to resist that. And that's what most bodybuilders do. They fight their own body because they excessively eat, the body's trying to get rid of it, they excessively eat, and it's just a lot of pressure. So remember, there are no quick goals, there's only lifestyle improvements, adjustments, homework. Nothing should be forced, ever. And number six here would be listening to your body. Now remember, the perfect scenario is not when you count calories like obsessed freak. It's when you actually know when your body needs food and what food this body needs, and give it exactly what it needs. Athletes or healthy human beings throughout the time make it automatic. They know what their body needs, they feel, they have a choice of nutrition, and they have a variety of food and comfort and enjoyment. That is why it's important to try to get connected to your body and actually listening and giving to it what it needs, not what the magazines or fitness bloggers tell to you. Topic number four is bad habits. I'm going to sort out a couple of important bad habits that you need to understand about. Number one bad habit is counting calories. Don't get me wrong, you have to have knowledge of the calories. You have to know what different macros are and what a calorie amount each of the single macros is, but you never have to count it. Because if you are obsessed with counting calories, you become an accountant. You're not an athlete. If you're a professional athlete, somebody does accounting for you. You never do it on your own. That is why the people who are obsessed of calorie counting, they are least of an athletes and more of materialistic, because they look at the shape visually and then they try to see if they're eating enough calories or no, or more or less, and they get deeper in the numbers. My friend, you can never count exact amount of calories on a plate. And the more obsessed with that you will become, the more it will mislead you from your natural part of understanding your body and actually feeling what your body requires. Calorie counts is business thing. It's very popular nowadays. So they have all these calculators and stuff. It's nothing but business. You have to know calories. You have to have that basic knowledge of calories. but never be obsessed with counting. Number two is disbalance, misbalance. It's when you overdo things. It's when you try to consume more protein than you need to, force things. It's when you're not hungry, but you try and eat on top, or opposite, starve yourself. No misbalance. Again, if you don't look or think on the long-term goals or situations, you're going nowhere. Yes, I know all you have right now is this moment, but in the sense of nutrition, you also have different moments. And if you overeat or not eat, it will bite you in the ass later. So always be in balance, never misbalance yourself. Another bad habit is not planning ahead. And that's related to what I just said in a way, because again, I see a lot of people overdoing cardio in the morning and not eating, obviously, but they are fat. I go to the same place over and over again, same people don't change. Why? Because they overdo things. They don't feel hungry in the morning, they don't eat, they have light lunch, and then in the evening it all builds up and they binge eating. Same with training. I see people who train every day and then the nervous system collapses, no balance, go hard or go home, and those individuals never go nowhere. So you don't want to overdo things. Remember, it's best to do one step. You feel like you can do more next time. If we talk about training, plan it. If we talk about nutrition, always make decisions after 24, 48 hours, because one meal or 1 hour or one part of the day, such as morning, give you no idea of how you're going to feel in the afternoon, evening, or even at night. And that's when the problems come. Next bad habit is, again, what I was saying earlier, is expecting quick results. Remember, quick only rabbits. There's no quick results. Forget it. Get it out of your head. I mean, if you expect quick results, I don't want you to look at this video. I want you to watch all those 5-minute apps and popular fitness bloggers who will give you 30 minutes diet, 30 days diet that you will pay for. I don't want to talk to you. No quick results. All I care about that you gain a knowledge that makes you feel, look better, and you transport it to your kids, and hopefully they do it to their kids. It's a chain reaction. I'm here for good purpose. God bless. And next bad habit is actually being bored. So a lot of people and a lot of times they don't feel hungry, they feel bored. So how to identify that? Very simple. So when you go into fridge in the middle of the night or in the evening, like I do, so if you see some snacks in there and you feel like you're hungry, ask yourself, would you eat a bowl of plain oatmeal right now? And if the answer is no, then you're not hungry, because don't you have to have an identification. Are you hungry or bored? Most people are bored. They just want to put something in their mouth and call it hunger. It's not a hunger. So be able to identify, are you hungry or are you bored? And if you're hungry, have the oatmeal. Topic number 5 is how to look at the macros and calories. Number 1, calories. Well, calories is our energy, is what is responsible for our frame. To give you an example, I'm 90 kilograms, 200 pounds right now at the 6'1", but weight doesn't matter in this case. For me to just exist with this weight, I need about 2,500, calories every single day. So this way, if I don't move and I just lay in a bed and I consume 2,500 calories, I will most likely stay the same. Now, if I consume more calories, I have to move more or train more in order to still keep the same frame. If I consume more calories and if I move less, then I will start gaining fat weight because I consume more fuel than I need to. Now, if I consume less calories than I have to maintain my frame with, I will be losing weight. That's how it goes with calories. So an important thing, so when people talk about weight loss, they can create deficit in so many different ways. They can eat less or they can move more. There's so many options. So calories is what is responsible for actually our current frame. Following is purpose of protein. Purpose of protein is the protein is a building material. So protein is a building blocks for your muscles. What is important to understand is the quality of protein. Quality of protein can be different. The best ones are the organic natural sources. Number one is eggs, fish, meat. I'm talking about my example. So vegan people would be different. Because I'm not vegan, I'm not going to talk about vegan situation due to lack of practice. There could be also bad proteins such as yogurt, such as protein shakes, such as artificial stuff. The stuff that tells you that there is a protein on the label, but the sources of that protein are artificial and not organic. So it's important to consume best quality proteins possible. Next is carbohydrates. So carbohydrates, there could be two types, fast, slow. Fast carbohydrates is the energy that gets in the bloodstream very quick, gives us the insulin splash, the energy, and then burns out quick. And there's a slow carbohydrates with a smaller glycemic index. The fast ones will be higher glycemic index, the slow ones will be with smaller glycemic index, which give us long-lasting energy. That means the energy that is not going to be quick, but is going to give us quite amount of time of the energy, such as sweet potatoes, such as oats, such as grains, for example, stuff like that. So each of the carbohydrates has a purpose of when and why to consume it. So if you want quick glucose, if you need quick glucose, for example, after training, before training, I prefer consuming quick, high glycemic carbohydrates. When it's in the middle of the day and I have to just not be hungry for maybe 3 or 4 or even more hours, then I pay attention to slow burning carbohydrates. This way I cannot worry about the fast energy that will disappear. Fats. I look at the fats in two ways. First way, it's a vitamin. Of course, fat is important for your health, for your skin, for everything you can imagine. And second way is the energy. Now, here I instantly would like to eliminate the trans fats, the fats that come from frying, burning. We don't even discuss that. So I'm talking about omega-3, omega-6, sources like fish, fat, avocado, flaxseed, and stuff like that. So fat is also good for the energy. For example, sometimes it's better to consume more fat to have more longer energy comparing to consume carbohydrates. So, and a lot of times I consume fats more than carbohydrates, more often than carbohydrates, because it doesn't give me insulin raise, the sugar raise, and it gives me long-lasting energy without even making me feel bloated. So fats could be a great source of energy, but it's important to have fats as a source of vitamins for omega-3, omega-6 on a daily basis. Next thing is fiber importance. Fiber is such an important thing because it's responsible for your gut health, for digestion, and just for light stomach. Also, fiber is great because it usually it doesn't have many calories, like greens, for example, but it can fill you up really well and do nothing but enlarge your portion size visually and inside your stomach, give you very low impact on calories on that, and at the same time promote the healthy digestion and stimulation of your gut health and utilization of food, besides the good antitoxins and stuff like that. So fiber is one of the most important parts of daily diet for me. Next thing is portion importance, how it looks and how it feels. So comparing to, let's say, high calorie, small portion foods, it's important to have lower calorie, higher portion foods made out of fiber, greens, and stuff like that, because that will give you an illusion that you have more food on a plate than you planned to. So fiber, in a lot of cases, together with other nutrients, macros, can make the plate really delicious. For example, I would have salmon, I would have like sweet potato, and I put it on top of huge salad plate. So this way I'll get a little bit of most important ingredients, and then I won't feel hungry because the fiber amount will kind of compensate that, including the look on a plate, including the feeling inside the stomach. Fiber is important, portion size is important, and how it looks on a plate is important too. Because if you don't want to eat, if you're not starving on what's on a plate, you're not going to enjoy it. You want to enjoy every single part of your lifestyle. Next thing is the ability to balance throughout 24 and 48 hours. 24 hours, it's exactly what I was saying. So if you overdo things in the first hours of the day, then you will have to balance it out after. So that means, having said that, that means if your goal is, let's say, 3,000 calories a day, and then you haven't eaten anything until, let's say, afternoon, and then in the afternoon you have salad, you will pay back for it, because you won't be able to maintain the same calorie amount throughout the day, so you'll have to compensate it in the evening. If you maintain the same calorie amount throughout the day, you don't have to worry about compensating in the evening. More so, you won't even be feeling hungry. Now let's discuss the other example. Let's say if you go out and then you ate and that's not a part of your diet and you feel nasty the next day, don't worry, you have 48 hours, and in those 48 hours you can rebalance it. So let's say if you overate in the first 24 hours, you have a full freedom to rebalance it to neutral balance in the next 24 hours. So in a summary, 48 hours, it will be fine eating a lot and then eating less. But you can't do that often. So you want to have a balance. And if the situation like this came up, you have an ability to rebalance it the next day. Always balance. And the last thing here to mention is the consumption is not important. Utilization is. Utilization over consumption. Because no matter how much nutrients you will put, if your body is not ready to utilize it, it will go to waste, or the worst, to your fat cells. So even excessive protein will be transferred to glucose, and the glucose becomes fat. That's why you want to do less and add something if you need to, rather than overdo things and try to get rid of something. Pretty much that's it. Next topic is what beginners should be focused on. I know majority of people are beginners, and everyone was once a beginner, so it's important to give you a little insight of what I would do if I was you. Most important things: set goals, adjust goals. If you are a beginner, or you just stepped in a training space, or decided to change your life, first thing first, you have to know why are you doing it for. And it's not the delusional motivation from Instagram or from, some materialistic motivation, impress friends or girlfriend or whatever. You want to have sustainable goals. You want to be stronger, you want to be better, you want to have a better quality of life, better discipline that displays in other aspects of life. Set realistic goals, number one. Number two, set simple consistency. Simple consistency is, again, more than 60% of doing the same thing daily. Good thing that leads you to your goal. For example, 2 major meals. Never skip a breakfast. Make sure your breakfast is super healthy, super clean, with a lot of variety of food. And then some other major meal during the day, also made of clean fuel, clean macros, and all that. And the rest you play with. You want to eat something else? Try it, sure. You feel like candies and all that. Of course, you're a teenager. sure, go for it. But as long as you maintain the basic consistency, eventually it will be improved. Comparing to when you don't have consistency, you're swimming like a paper plane in the ocean. Next thing should be addressed to issues and weaknesses. Listen, we're all humans. We all have our issues and weaknesses. We have cravings. We have shadows from the previous lifestyle. It's important to identify what bothers you. A lot of people have mistaken hunger with being bored. A lot of people develop bad relationship with the food. You gotta identify it first. Identification will help you to try to sort it out and substitute. Any snacks, any gummies, any whatever things can be replaced. Anything can be balanced. So you want to make sure that you are aware of what is distracting you, and you want to make sure you start working on that slowly, not right away, but start. And leading to that is the building of new habits. So when you start, it's exactly the time of building new habits, building new relationship with food, and creating a new you who in a quite amount of time will become that person who you were once motivated by. Next topic is water, liquid, hydration, dehydration. Topic number 7. So water intake. Water is one of the most important things in our body. We are made of 60-65% of water. That means the water is probably the most important thing that we put in our body. If there's no water, there's nothing. So that's why it's important to consume plain water. Water can be different, okay? So of course there's tap water, there's bottled water, there's water with electrolytes, and all kind of water. The researchers keep fighting with each other, proving us which water is the best. But honestly, don't sweat about that. What's important is consume clean sources of water. Consume good amount of water. Put the water in a priority. Don't ever substitute water with juices, drinks, or anything else. So it's important to keep a good balance of water. For me, it's 1.5 gallons a day, so close to 5 liters. Yes, it's a lot. I would say not less than a gallon, not less than 3.5 liters. Because otherwise, with my physical activity, I cannot stay hydrated enough. So I have to consume a nice amount of water. Same as you, when you're training, you're losing electrolytes, you're sweating, you have to compensate it. If you have an opportunity to consume water with good amount of pH, then do it with electrolytes. If you don't, then don't worry, just choose a clean sources of water. Water should be there for you always. Water should be there in your bag, no matter what. And the bottle better to be really big. I carry a big jug of water with me, so I never have to worry about dehydration and stuff like that. Now, next one, liquid portion size. Liquid is important on the occasions, let's say when you're training. Let's say when you are training, you don't want to overconsume liquid. You more so want to have liquid with electrolytes when you consume lower amount of liquid but more amount of nutrients, electrolytes in it. This way your body will not be sweating too much and you won't be consuming so much water during training that may interrupt your training process or disbalance it. So long story short, the portion size of water, it's best to consume in a smaller amounts throughout the day rather than not drink and chug it right away. Next thing, electrolytes. So electrolytes, again, electrolytes are everywhere with most of our foods, sodium and stuff like that. Body needs to maintain certain electrolyte balance. So basically, if you consume things like coffee, you have to understand that this is dehydration. This will make you pee more and suck out more water from you. So that means you have to hydrate after. So always take in consideration that any stimulants, anything like that will suck out the water and electrolytes from your body. So you have to compensate it. Always be aware of staying hydrated, no matter you want to drink or not. Sodium. Sodium is a big part of the hydration process. It's important to have a good quality sodium, salt, simply to be said. I put salt on my food. I don't care. I just choose a good sea salt or Himalayan pink salt, and that's it. So sodium is everywhere in our food besides putting salt on top. So we get enough sodium. It's extremely individual about sodium consumption. I'm an athlete, so having repeat what I said previously, I lose a lot of water electrolytes. So sodium for me, salting food is a big part of my diet because this way I keep the electrolyte balance on point and I also enjoy my food and I don't lose as much as I could without sodium. If you don't have sodium, then your body has a chance to get dehydrated and it's the last thing you want. Also, if you overeat sodium, you have to understand that it's not going to be any good. So just put a salt if you want, but don't sweat about over putting extra salt or any soy sauces and stuff like that. That's where the danger is. Topic number 8, destruction and sabotage. Number one, worst enemy I have to mention here is alcohol. If you are drinking on a daily basis, the door is right there. You gotta speak to the psychologist first or rehab specialist before coming here. If you are struggling with alcohol, it's a psychological problem. If you cannot live without parties, daily, weekly, or even monthly, you shouldn't be here on a nutrition video. You should be at the therapist. Talking about alcohol, alcohol is instant sabotage of any physical and health process, no matter you believe it or not. And having said that, that's why partially I can't stand people like Dwayne Johnson, Mark Wahlberg, who on the other hand pretend to be athletic, not athletic, it's too big word for them, fit to a certain extent, but then they promote poison. So who are those people? Those are betrayals of our activity. Alcohol will flush out all the electrolytes from you. It will dehydrate you. It will suck out the water inside muscles. It will destroy your performance on practical training and also health. It will put a damage on your inner organs and will lead you to the grave. How I did with my mom. My mom had issues with alcohol for 25 years. Now she's gone since 2015 at 54 years old. Unfortunately, that's the reality. I've seen it all with my eyes. I know what it is. Um, so besides that, alcohol is dropping sugar instantly. That means you get hungry. Let's say if you go to a restaurant and you ate and then you had some whiskey on top, the stronger the alcohol, the more it's dropping sugar down. That means you will feel hungry even when you don't. And that's how you binge it. And that's how you wake up with a puffy face, frustrated, discouraged, and all that. So no alcohol. If you are sometimes drinking once in a while, then man, have those Pedialytes right there. Know the balance. And if you can, try to avoid this shit. For the sake of your health, get out of this situation. Next thing, stimulants, pre-workout. Pre-workout. So pre-workout not only distracts you from the training process mentally and physically, it also dehydrates you. The more stimulants, the more caffeine is in the substance, the more it drains out of water and electrolytes from you. It's like a drug. You know, you've seen those people who dance on ecstasy with eyes like this, skinny, sweaty. That's your pre-workout. Same drug in a mild way. So if you're addicted to pre-workout, it's time to escape from it, lower it down, and maybe just stick to coffee. Drugs and medicine. Oh, drugs and medicine. We're not even going to pay too much attention to this topic. But obviously, if the pre workout is dehydrating you, if alcohol, imagine what drugs do. Drugs and medicine will suck out your health, no matter you believe it or not. Even the medicine gives you certain benefits with your issue, it still has tons of side effects that will not get you anywhere. That's why stay away from medicine, try to find healthy solutions. And of course, kids don't do drugs. Next. Part number 9 is a pyramid eating. So, importance of day and night, what it is. So, circadian rhythm. Our ancestors through the millions of years have developed system of waking up with the sunrise and going to bed with the sunset. Right now, even if it's night, we have so many lights around and you never get lost if you are at least not in the countryside. But back then, when it was dark, there was nothing visible, and all you could do is just stay quietly in the place where you had an illusion to feel safe. Right now, everything is distorted. Back then, people woke up, people's goal was to try to find food by the time it gets dark. Right now, nighttime, you woke up or you came back from work, not work, or maybe work or party, you can just press order and order the biggest burger and fries and stuff your face and go to bed. So everything is distorted. When we're supposed to be active and fuel, we starve, and when we're supposed to sleep, we eat. So imagine you wake up in a day, so your body is ready to work, your body is ready to function, fuel, and you're supposed to fuel it. And then when you go to bed, your body is getting ready for rest. So you're supposed to rest and sleep and take your time to recover for the next day. So by taking that in consideration, will elevate your progress a lot. And what I'm saying is, you wake up, you eat like a king. I mean, in a good way. Then the lunch, you fuel yourself also like a king. And closer to the evening, you want to kind of calm down and go to bed slightly hungry. This way, you're forming a pyramid of eating. You eat more when you're active, eat, and then when you're less active, you kind of shut it down. So that's why most of people have the opposite, and that's the biggest stepping stone for them. Um, because if they only reverse pyramid of eating, they can already bring themselves 2 times better than they were before. So basically, eat when you're active, eat more when you're active, and eat less when you're less active. Take that in consideration. Overnight, your body recovers. So if you ate food and go to bed, that means your body will be busy with utilizing all that shit that you ate, and that's when you wake up puffy, with a puffy eyes, face like that, bloated, and not even having a good quality of sleep. But there's also one thing to mention. Now, if you haven't eaten to satisfy that calorie amount to keep your frame going, then during the day, then you, as a matter of fact, will be feeling hungry at night, and that will lead you to munchies. That's why it's important to fuel smartly throughout the day, not letting that disbalance to bite you in the ass later. And now we're getting to the practical part. So it's part number 10, my style of daily nutrition. So my priorities, what is my priority? My priority is daily consistency. So in my case, my daily consistency is not at the 60%. I'd say it's close to 90. I still allow 10% to fluctuate. My daily consistency contains must two major meals that contain protein, that contain carbohydrates and healthy fats with excessive amount of fiber, because I love fiber. So daily consistency is something that I will be doing every single day, no matter where, what I'm doing. For example, I always have eggs, avocado, and I always have choice of meat and fish with greens and grains, no matter what. Even if I'm traveling like not a while ago, I still get that in. The times of the day are different, of course. One major meal is usually going after training because that's the moment when I'm hungry, when my body is ready to utilize a whole bunch of calories without worrying that they go in the wrong places. And number two is throughout the day, is the second meal that also will supply my major nutritional needs. That's why, and with the rest of the things I can play around, but consistency is the most important thing for me in nutrition, training, and everywhere else. How do I adjust if I'm traveling? Again, the same way. As long as I consume those two major meals guarantee me protein, quality amount of fats, energy. That's it. So pretty much as long as I consume that building material, protein, carbs and fats in two major meals in a good ingredients, I'm good. If I'm traveling, the rest of the meals can be either snacks or some light meals. But remember, as long as I have those two meals, I don't have to worry about anything else. I already built my consistency. I don't eat gummies, candies, stuff like that. I usually build up the rest of the meals around my daily schedule, and the schedule is always different. So sometimes, as I said, you need more carbohydrates, and then you choose more fats, or you want more snacks or more fruits, whatever you want. As long as two meals are in, two major recovery meals mean I'm good. My relationship with stimulants. I only drink coffee right now. So I am the same way. I was the same way addicted as most of you are to pre-workouts. But then I understood that intensity of my training and efficiency of my training, I have to connect it here. And if my mind is not clear, if my heart is racing more than I'm supposed to, then I am bringing myself away from the training process. I want to cause the intensity in a natural way. So that means I have to work hard to sweat hard. And that's what stimulants will interrupt. So let's see, if I take more, you say caffeine or any other stimulants, my heart will be racing more than it should. And I may feel that I'm on my peak when I'm doing the light exercise. So besides that, it's of course, I don't want to face the mood swings. I don't want to face the dehydration. So for me, it's coffee. I consume double espresso before training and 1 or 2 cups during the day of coffee. For me, that's enough. Liquid intake, hydration. As I said, I always carry a huge water bottle with me, and it's always there, so I drink when I need to. I use water with pH, so here's alkaline 8.8. Not that it's necessary, but it feels smoother and I prefer it this way. If I consume coffee, I instantly consume more water just to take in consideration that I need to hydrate more for a balance. If I sweat more on a workout, which happens recently, then I have to hydrate more. So I hydrate upon the needs. At this point, I feel my body and I hydrate pretty well. How I balance within 24-48 hours. Where honestly, I have the moments where I have to overeat something and then I balance. But once a month, I allow myself to eat whatever I want, and I usually do it in the evening in order not to continue the full day of eating. So I eat and I go to bed. And then the next day, I just simply feel less hungry, so I eat less. And throughout the 48 hours, I balance it out. It's not a big deal. Now, other thing I have to mention is refeed. For example, sometimes you eat less unintentionally, and then I feel drained. I feel a little bit smaller, dehydrated, lack of calories. Then the next day, I would just eat the same meals as I usually do, but in a bigger portions. I may add more fats or more carbs or even more fiber. And then instead of eating junk, I'll eat a bigger portions of the same meal and I'm good. I'm compensated without going extreme or sabotaging myself. Next thing is the weight fluctuation. So Remember, when you set goals, I want to lose 20 pounds or 10 pounds, I always ask people, why not 19.8 or why not 11.5? You know, people want those exact numbers. It doesn't work like that. Your body, again, is made out of 65% of water. So water comes, water goes. You pee, you poop. I mean, you lose weight, then you ate a little bit more sodium in a Chinese restaurant, then you gained weight. You have to allow yourself a fluctuation. For me, it's about 5 pounds, two and a close to 2 kilos. This is the perfect amount of fluctuation. That means as long as you stay in this weight fluctuation, +5, -5 pounds, not going below or above, you're fine. This is nothing but your natural body reaction. But you also have to identify of why this fluctuation, why did you gain extra 3 pounds or why did you lose extra pounds? And good attention to pay is the water intake, the sodium intake, and the portion size. So all of those things you discover along the process, but you have to take in consideration that you have to allow the fluctuation on your weight if you want to consider a nice balance, because fluctuation will always happen, circumstances change, and you just want to be adapted for that. Food cravings. How I fight food cravings? Well, at this point, I don't usually have food cravings. My knowledge of nutrition is wide enough that I can always choose the foods that I like and enjoy and replace them if I need to. I am more so the guy who is feeling bored in the evening. But here's the thing. So we're going to talk about that in details in the last topic of this video. So if I crave something, I find a substitute, because not all the time, let's say if you crave sugar, sometimes it's enough for you to taste sweet fruit and then give it a time for your brain to get a signal, and then you're good. So pretty much that's how it happens. If you have cravings, you have to be able to find a substitution, or you have to give a little taste to your brain for it to stop. Next topic is supplements. Well, supplements, most of the sports supplements is trash. The things that are not trash is, I would say, electrolytes, powdered electrolytes, that can be beneficial. Creatine works for those who are dedicated and have goals, but creatine is based on the water retention inside muscle. So as a matter of fact, it's not sustainable. The rest of the supplements is business, and they want to sell you things that you don't have money for and that you don't need. Stay away from all the supplements. Supplements to me is fish oil or flaxseed oil together with sea moss. But here's the thing, both of those can be found in real life food. Sea moss is a natural product. Omega-3, omega-6 can be found in fish, flaxseed, avocado. So it's all in front of you. Honestly, when you reach the point when your discipline is a priority, you don't even think about supplements, because you don't need all those fake shortcuts, tricks that try to give you progress. You're good without it. Take my advice, never spend money on any supplements, never. Just spend it on your girlfriend, on your baby, or save it. You will need it. And the last thing, I want to give you an actual example of my food and the daily. So the day of training, I train in the morning, not first thing in the morning. I cannot go to training on an empty stomach. For that exact reason, is because at this point, all my workouts are very, very intense. You probably know about it. It takes a lot of toll on my glucose, on the body, on the calorie intake. It's a lot of work. Having said that, if I go to training on an empty stomach, there would not be productivity. The people who train on an empty stomach is the ones who already psychopathically developed this type of style of eating and got used to it. And number two is the ones who have no training intensity. Look, if I go just lift machines, I can do it even when I'm drunk. I won't feel anything. And surprisingly, back in the past, I used to go train. Even when I was drunk, I lifted weights. I always could bench 220, no problem. Pathetic. So, long story short, athletic training requires fuel. So, my first meal always is 3 or 4 of rice cakes. So, this is the meal that I customized for myself according to my goals nutritionally, macros, and taste, and also the performance expectation. So 4 chocolate rice cakes, 60 calories each. So it's made out of dry rice. Yes, it's artificial, but again, I'm saying to you how it is. I try to do the best I can. Uh, then on those rice cakes are ready to absorb the food. They are dry. They are gonna suck in water, tighten up the space in the stomach. They won't blow up. So on top of them, I put overnight oats, which gives me a little bit of healthy fiber. So it's not super dry food, not super bad for stomach. Then on top of it, I put seeds, raw seeds, no sodium, and put raisins or cranberries, put on top, topped with the powdered peanut butter. So let's discuss what we have here. We have rice cakes, a little bit low glycemic index. We have oats, low glycemic index. Rice cakes dry, oatmeal a little bit wet. Rice cake will absorb the oatmeal, absorb the super high glycemic index raisins or fruits, and peanut butter. It will all pack up in my stomach. It's going to be a lot of calories, I would say up to 600-700, but it will be tight, packed glucose. Oatmeal will make it a little bit mild for it to digest, but this meal will suck into my stomach and it will be ready for me to be fueled full of glucose by the time I start a warm-up, which about 1 hour to 40 minutes after consumption. Now here we have to consider, sometimes I have to go training very quick, so I have to consume less amount of rice cakes. Sometimes I have to train 2 hours after consuming. Let's say if I have to go somewhere for collab, then I have to add another rice cake. I take 5 rice cakes, maybe 800 calories. So then I have more time to pack that energy for my training. So then the training goes. The goal of training is to be fueled with glucose as light as possible. Let's say if I eat just a bowl of oatmeal, it will be swimming there, digesting. It won't be good for performance training. But if I have something like this, it will pack me up with the glucose, making me feel light and full. After workout, so the goal of the workout is to burn glucose. If you didn't burn glucose, that means either you ate a lot before, more than you supposed, or even if you ate a lot the night before, but I don't even discuss that. I always go to bed with a light stomach. I wake up super hungry, eat those rice cakes, they utilize, I go to training. Training intensity, for me, it's super intense, that close to the end of training, my stomach is like, oh, I guarantee you, I'm starving. I'm starving to the point where I need the glucose. That is how much effort I put on the training. So when I finish with the training, I consume coconut water or watermelon or maybe even orange juice. Mostly it's coconut water. I would say maybe 150, 200 milliliters, just enough to cover that glucose spot, because your body is requiring replenishment of glucose. Here's what happens if you consume protein shake. Protein shake doesn't have glucose. I don't know where they take it from. It's all business to consume protein after the training. Man, you need a glucose. So if you consume protein, your body will be having such a difficult time transferring protein into glucose, and it will make you feel miserable, and it will not be beneficial, and it will take the space from your stomach for upcoming meals. That's why give your body what it wants. Glucose, boom, after hard training, nice. Then I have a period while this glucose is compensated to actually cook my first proper recovery meal, my first meal of consistency. And that happens maybe 40 minutes, or sometimes hour after. So what happens? How do I feel before consuming my next meal? I feel shaky. I feel like a bear who came out of the winter sleep and ready to rip apart his meal. That's how I feel. And guess what? What does it indicate to me? It indicates to me that my body is hungry. It's ready. Give it to me. I give it all. And leads us to utilization. Comparing to when you see the meal on the food plate on a plate and you're like, I'll eat a little bit of it. That means your body is not ready to utilize it. Best utilization happens when you create the timing for it, rituals. If you're not hungry, you did something wrong, because best situation is when your body takes fuel, utilizes it, next one. That's the best body performance. So for my second meal and the first meal of the consistency, it's usually 6-7 eggs and 2-3 on top egg whites, 4 of my favorite buns of bread, 1 whole avocado, pumpkin seeds, and the what else? Maybe a little bit of olive oil. I eat that meal like crazy. I have healthy fat here. I have avocado. I have bread, which is carbs, but I don't have to worry about carbs because these carbs are right after workout. So the body will just utilize those carbs, bread, like phew. So next thing, I'm good for about 4 hours after this meal. That means I can do my stuff. I can do whatever I want during the day, work, of course, and I don't have to worry about food. Then after 4 hours, I start feeling a little bit hungry, but it's too early for me to put another big meal on top of it because I want to stretch out the timing. I want to make myself more hungry and, simply to be said, deserve more food. So I want to feel, each time I look at the plate, I want to feel like this. I'm hungry. I can't wait. This is indicating me that I will consume it like a crazy motherfucker. You know what I mean? And it will be utilized. So for the next meal, I'll have snack just to kind of tease my body a little bit. So you have a snack, but next meal is coming. This way, my metabolic processes are speeding up. And so for the next snack, there's a variety of choice. Here, I want to pay attention to the calories. I would say in a first meal, I pay attention to the quality of food and macros. I don't care about calories because it will all be utilized throughout the day. Now, if it's snack, I don't want to overeat calories here. So my snack would be limited to 300-400 calories, depending on the day and activity. I may have 2 organic, nutrition bars, even with protein, but I don't care a protein in it because I already consuming my main meals with the most quality amount of protein. I don't care about those middle snacks meals and protein in there. I only need so much. So in those snacks, I would have like maybe fruits, maybe nuts, maybe some nutrition bar with coffee, whatever you want. Just look at the calories because you don't want to sabotage the next meal. Next meal probably 2 hours later, so it's going to be late afternoon or early evening. That will be my second recovery meal for the day. That's going to be my consistency. And the second meal always contains choice of meat and fish. I prefer salmon because here I get some healthy fats together with it and benefit at most. Then it's always grains, long-lasting grains such as quinoa or wild rice or stuff like that. It's always sweet potato, also another set of vegetable grains with a low glycemic index, and it's tons of fiber. It's all the vegetables you can imagine. It's salad, it's broccoli, it's beets, cucumber, whatever. So the goal of this meal to make a huge fiber pillow and add some slow burning carbs and protein in it. So this meal will be keeping me full until the last snack of the day. And here's the funny part. So the last snack of the day, so here I'm witnessing situation. I go to bed around 10 o'clock. I'm home by 7:38. And here's the snack that I want to enjoy. What do I look to enjoy? I just maybe want to watch a movie and I want to consume something, but I don't really care about the protein amount in it and all that. What I care about is the calories. Calories in my snack before bed. So here my limit is also up to 400 calories, and I have a full variety of snacks. I can have even low calorie ice cream bars as long as they don't exceed the calorie amount. I don't care about nutritional aspects of it. I can have the popcorn or dry type of snacks because they will be puffy, low calorie, but big amount. They will help me to kind of feel busy while watching movie. And the most important in the evening is not over consume liquid and sodium. So don't choose the snacks that are super salty, although you can sometimes, but watch out the liquid intake with it. Don't I prefer not to drink shakes or anything because it's still extra liquid that may cause water retention. And just be aware of what you do before bed. All right, so I hope this video was informative. I hope I delivered in my mild way as much as I could give it to you. I will keep working hard and try to discover more ways of how to be in shape. That's the question that always mattered to me and always was the most important in my training career. Currently, I'm probably in the best shape of my life in the sense of fuel, performance, habits, discipline. And without these tricks that I just gave you, it wouldn't work like that. I keep discovering along the way. I'm sure in a year from now or longer, I will be able to deliver more information to you. But for now, this is a zero gravity nutritional toolbox, and I hope it will benefit you. Thank you for your time. Ready for the next week of trainings. I'm thankful for each and single one of you. And the most important thing to me, my friends, is you being better every day, delivering that to your families, spreading the good motivation. God bless. Thank you so much for being with me for this quite amount of time.